Hi. An increasing number of young women are getting diagnosed with breast cancer at an alarming rate. But the good news is that if you are determined to fight back with courage, cancer cannot defeat you. In this episode, we are going to talk to a very inspiring young breast cancer thriver, Ananya, and know about her incredible story and her perspective. Ananya is a visual artist by profession and an avid sports buff. She played basketball for state and represented Andhra Pradesh at the Basketball Youth Nationals in 2007 and 2008. She also represented Andhra Pradesh in athletics, long jump, 200 meters, and discus throw. The story doesn't end here. She's also been playing golf since she was a teenager and has taken part in several tournaments as well. Hello, Ananya. Welcome to Happiness After Cancer.
Thank you, Nidhi Auntie. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak on this platform. I hope my story helps others.
Let me begin by asking you, how old were you when you were diagnosed and what made you go to the doctor, Ananya?
I was 29 years old when I was diagnosed, and it was just an ordinary Monday morning. I was brushing my teeth and I placed my left hand on my chest and I found a lump underneath. And for a moment, it was there was this hysteria, and I was trying to remember everything I'd ever seen or read about breast cancer. I only waited a day, which I think is very good, and immediately went to see my doctor. After an ultrasound and a biopsy, it was confirmed that I was a stage 2 triple negative cancer patient. This happened in December 2020.
Right in the middle of COVID, right?
Yes, right in the middle of COVID, Delta, in fact.
Did anybody in your family have breast cancer?
No family history of breast cancer. And this was a question that was asked to me by all the doctors that I'd met. And it was definitely a surprise and a shock for all of us.
It is not easy to come to terms with a disease like cancer at any age. But dealing with this diagnosis at the age of 29 makes it worse. How did you deal with it, Ananya?
I think my background as a sports person helped me. I've had multiple injuries. I've had 2 major surgeries and hospitalizations in the past. And I think just the mental state and my mindset when I was diagnosed, there was this calm, and there was also acceptance. Like, okay, I have this problem. Now, what can I do? What should I do? I think what really helped me was not bothering with the whys of it, because I think it's a futile exercise. You will never know why. And I don't think you can ever be fully prepared, but you can choose how to think and how to act. So I immediately switched to this practical side where I was like, okay, doctor, I have this. Please let me know what are my options? What do I need to do? What's next for me? What's my prognosis? And somehow getting into that, I think it shifted my focus off of feeling bad for myself or worrying about it, and instead focusing on what is the solution to this problem. And I think the other thing that really helped me was to take it one day at a time, because it's very overwhelming when you're presented with a diagnosis like this and you know that you have 5 to 6 months of chemo ahead of you, followed by surgery, followed by radiation. And when you look at it that way, it feels like a lot. So from very early on, I decided to focus on the present and just take each day as it comes. I think that really helped me a lot.
And another point that comes to my mind is, do you think there's a lot of taboo, guilt, shame around breast cancer?
Absolutely. I think there is a lot of it. And what I've noticed in my interactions and connections over social media with patients from all over the world is it's especially prevalent in India. And let me share a few experiences and thoughts on this. I've learned that saying I have a tumor in my brain is okay. But saying I have a tumor in my breast is like an oh my God moment, because breasts are so sexualized in India that talking about it itself is like, you're supposed to have hush hush conversations. And I have seen this happen. And it makes people uncomfortable. And I've interacted with multiple girls and a few women as well who were extremely hesitant to reach out and ask for help because they don't want to share that they have cancer. It's almost as if they're guilty of committing a crime. I mean, I really wonder why this guilt, this blame, they feel when they have this. And why are they made to believe that they're at fault? It can happen to any of us. And it's not just in rural areas, it's also in the big cities, in cosmopolitan cities. I think women hesitate to share because there's still taboo and shame surrounding this topic. In many scenarios, younger women with cancer are now, they're considered like not good matches for a marriage. It's almost like a black mark in their records somehow. And you know it's like they've lost value. I've actually had two girls tell me that their parents are now so worried that they won't get married. And I had to tell them, let's just focus on your treatment first. Let's focus on you getting better. We'll deal with all of that later. I feel it's so unfair that those girls have to deal with that on top of everything else. So I think I think taboo, shame, guilt is something that we have a lot of work to do in order to overcome in our country. And there is a lot of surprise and shock when I went public with my story as well. It was almost as if, how come someone of her financial, socio-economic background got cancer? How come someone so young and fit got cancer? Why would she want to share this? Why would she want people to know? And I ask, why not? How are we going to raise awareness? How are we going to let people know that they're not alone? Because statistics are showing, like you said, more and more younger people are getting diagnosed with cancer, men and women. And if you don't talk about it, how are you going to get them help? How are they going to realize that they're not alone in this? So I think, yes, we have to focus our efforts on getting rid of this taboo surrounding cancer. It's a lot of work to be done, in my opinion.
It is, Ananya. Breast cancer support groups are kind of non existent in India. We both know it. But especially finding a breast, as you said, there was a lot of taboo. So I'm sure you were not able to find a breast cancer support group where there were women of your age. Am I right?
You're absolutely right. In fact, I never came across a single girl my age or nearby, even within a 10-year range, who, when I went in for my tests, when I went in for treatment, I would repeatedly ask my oncologist, are there any other girls? Are there any other girls getting chemo? Can I get their numbers? Can I talk to them? And no, there was nobody, and finding support groups was hard. And I think this is why I go out of my way to reach out to younger girls. I often ask my oncologist to put me in touch with them in case they need help. And even after my doctor gives them my number, these girls hesitate to reach out. They don't message or text. So I message them and I say, look, hey, I'm here and I'm a friend. And I can talk for the both of us if you're shy or if you're hesitant. And let me put your mind at ease. And just let them know that I've gone through what you're going through, what you're facing. And once they open up, there's this instant connection. It's unexplainable because someone who's had a lived experience, right? There's nothing like talking to someone who's been through it before. And you feel comforted. And like I said, you feel not alone. And we exchange just so many things. We laugh about things. We laugh about our suffering. We laugh about being constipated. We exchange tips. And after that, it just forms this beautiful connection. So I really feel it's important that we speak about younger people also having this disease. Cancer doesn't discriminate. Age is not a determining factor. And yes, I hope to see more support groups where younger people also feel free and comfortable to join and share their journeys with everybody.
Ananya, do you think self advocacy is important? If yes, why?
Knowledge is power. I feel being well informed is a must, and it helps you make better decisions. It gives you some control, at least, over what's happening to you. And I always tell the girls that I speak to that there are no silly or stupid questions. There are no right or wrong questions. There are just questions, and you should ask them. And no one will put your health as a first priority better than you. No one else is going to do that for you. So it is important to know what your treatment entails. For example, I knew that triple negative is aggressive, and the only treatment available is chemo, and it's aggressive. So I looked into fertility preservation, and after a very, I would say, healthy and nice discussion with my oncologist, I decided to go ahead with it. Now, it might not work in all cases, but I think girls should know that it is an option that is available to them. And again, speaking with some patients, I've realized that there is this hesitancy to ask questions, and they just leave it, or in some cases they leave it to their doctors, which is good. You should trust your team. But we all know, and we've all seen, that cancer is so unpredictable. Our journeys have so many ups and downs. And when you hit one of those downs, what will really help you? Information, right? What is the next step? What can you do for yourself? What steps can you take to ensure your survival, to ensure that you're going to get the best treatment possible, that is available to you? So I very strongly and firmly believe that you have to advocate for yourself, and nobody will do it better than you. So if it means reading up a little bit, talking to others, or going through asking your oncologist, which is what I did. In fact, when I got diagnosed, I asked my doctor and I said, can you please give me some information guides or some pamphlets? And my doctor was fantastic. She shared some documents on my email, and I went through it, and I felt so much more prepared, because there is fear in the unknown, I feel, at least. And knowing some actually helps. I'm not saying you have to get into like the chemistry of it and the physics and know like all the at molecular level how this works. No, but I think when it comes to you, your treatment, and what's going to work for you, I think it's important to know, and it's important to keep yourself informed.
Do you think other people's reactions, opinions, support can make a difference in survivorship in the long run and the short term?
Absolutely. I think if people can educate themselves on it, it would be wonderful. But if that's too much to ask, then just letting us know that they're there for us, that they're sending us their love and prayers, I think is really helpful. And I feel when you don't know what to say, just send us your love. It's so much better than judgment or unsolicited advice, or sharing your opinions. Things like toxic positivity, or in my case, repeatedly telling me to my face that, oh, how did you get it? You're so young and fit. How did you get it? You're so young and fit. It didn't help me at all. I consider myself very strong and calm, but after repeatedly hearing it over a period of time, I started doubting myself. Did I do something wrong? Like, did I make a mistake? And it's not a path you want to go down when you're facing this and you have like months of treatment ahead of you. And another thing that I think is really helpful is acknowledging that, yes, it is a tough time for you. I know you're having a bad day, also helps, because this used to happen to me. People would ask me, how are you? And if I say I'm fine, it is all good. If I say, you know what, I'm having a bad day, I can't even finish the sentence before I'm slapped and said, oh, come on, you're a warrior, you can do it, and da 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 da. Allow me to speak. If I can't share my fears and my worries with you, who will I share it with? So it's okay to have tough conversations. It is okay to talk about difficult things. I think acknowledging that I'm having a difficult time is good. It helps me feel heard and seen, because survivorship is a minefield. Every ache and pain is a cause of worry, a worry of recurrence, and we've all been there and we've all had it. And people around you, when they actually also learn with you on how to cope and how to deal when you're faced with such things, I think it makes all the difference, right? You feel supported, you feel you can rely on them. And I think, yeah, that's That's very important. I think conversations don't always have to be only about happiness and positivity. Sometimes I feel talking about the difficult things also helps, and it actually makes you feel good, that you've shared it with someone. So I think yes, support of people around you is very important. I had a few friends and my sisters as well who actually took it upon themselves to educate themselves. They googled what to say, what not to say, how can I be of a help, and it showed. It showed that they were putting in that effort, and I think that made a lot of difference to me in my journey.
Is there any message that you would like to give to anyone who's been diagnosed at a young age like yours?
Yes, it's important to reach out. I think it's important to ask for help. I think it's important to talk about it. I remember very early on that I began to accept all my emotions. I allowed myself to feel it all, whether it was worry or fear or anger or stress or happiness or whatever it is. I thought it was a better way to deal with it than let it fester inside. And when I talk to some girls and they say, I don't know why I'm feeling like this and I'm feeling so angry. And I said, it's understandable. It is understandable. You are angry. You're young. You're probably studying. You've been taken away from your studies. Your friends are moving on in their life. You don't know whether you're going to have a breast or not. You don't know what your BRCA test is going to say. You don't know anything. It's a difficult place to be in. So it's okay to feel these emotions. You're not wrong in feeling them. You don't always have to present this tough facade, So I'd like to tell young people that it's fine to feel, everything that they're feeling, and talking to others really helps. And also that there is no shame or guilt. This is not your fault. We may never know why, right? But we can choose to live by giving this battle all that we've got. And it's tough, it's heartbreaking at times, it's depressing at times, it has its share of joys and happiness. There's no doubt, but take it one step at a time. Know that you're not alone, that there's an amazing community that's just waiting to welcome you and help you in every possible way. And please reach out to Happiness After Cancer, to me, to anybody you see on social media, because trust me, cancer brings you together like nothing else. There are these instant bonds and connections that are formed that are unexplainable, and they actually lead to some of the most beautiful friendships of your life. And know that we're always there to support and help you, and that you're not alone. So I think this is what I'd like to share with them. And yes, I think just to give them hope that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and there are a lot of advancements in the field of medicine now. And coming back to self advocacy, examining yourself, speaking up for yourself, following up with your doctor, these are all excellent things for you to do, whether now or during treatment, after, and for the rest of your life. So yeah.
Thank you, Ananya, for sharing your amazing story of hope and courage. I'm sure your words will motivate everyone, people, young girls or boys who are going through the treatment or who've just come to know that they've met this diagnosis. If anybody would like to get in touch with Ananya or join the breast cancer support group, we'll give you the details in the description box, and you can send us a mail at happinessaftercancer@gmail.com.